So good morning, everybody. The time is 12 o'clock, so I'm about to start. My name is Nicholas Niku, for you that you don't know me. I'm the CEO and founder of Classter, and today is the second time we do a presentation about Classter modules. This morning, we are going to talk about the billing module. It is one of the most interesting and important modules in Classter, and we believe that a lot of you guys, you need to know more about it and understand how billing module can be configured, how it can be used, what benefits can provide to educational institutions, and what functionalities are provided and supported in this module. So let me go through the agenda and explain you what we are going to cover today. So we are going to have a look on the billing module functionality. We will discuss about what's new in this module and what is coming in the next few months. We will see a demo with some scenarios, including how to create financial agreements and arrangements, how to send contracts, how to do bulk actions, to do online payments, barcode payments, and so on. Today we have reserved 1.5 hours, so hopefully we have a bit more time this time, and we will be able to answer some questions you may have and go through some frequently asked questions. And if we are fast enough, or if I'm fast enough at the end of the event, probably we'll go through some Q&A. So if you have questions, then we can go through those questions. So let me give you an overview of what is our vision for the billing module and why we invest so much time and energy on improving and developing top-of-the-art, state-of-the-art billing module. We first of all realized that educational institutions have serious issues to manage the financial and the billing of tuition fees and other services. Many of you guys, I know that you have spent quite a lot of time and effort to use traditional accounting and payment systems. Unfortunately, the way that most educational institutions manage their billing process is completely different than what you see in other sectors. So the billing process for an educational institution looks like a telecom. So you have some monthly fees usually that students have to pay, parents have to pay, or payers anyway. And the financial arrangements or agreements for those payment or installments, they may change over the time. They may be different from student to student. They may depend on the services the student has. All this create an environment that is quite difficult for an educational institution, for a school or college or a vocational school or training center, to manage all the payment process, to know what exactly money they're going to receive. They have the forecast for the year and be able really to easily handle all of this. Now, if you add in this equation the fact that you need to do online payments, you want to have the parents or the students to log on and pay online, and you need to know what exactly they've paid. They need to have the ability to download the invoices or payment receipts and be able to see exactly the agreement they have done with the school. We realize that is a very difficult environment to manage. So our vision is related to automate this environment, to minimize the human-related work, and basically push work out to the end customer. So basically, we want the end customer to be able to auto-create financial agreements. For you that you were part of the previous presentation we did about the admission module, you will probably remember that in the admission module, we have implemented the auto-creation of financial arrangements, the automatically management of discounts, things like that, of installments. So that is an area that the billing module is related very much to the admission module. So those two modules go hand by hand. By having the admission module and the billing module together, you can basically push the creation of all this information in Classter out to the payers, to the student or to the parent. And that enables the organization to very effectively create financial arrangements for thousands of students without the need of a lot of manual work. But even if you don't do that, even if you don't have the admission module, our vision is that just by having the billing module, you should be able to do a lot of work automatically. So we need to minimize the work the back office employees do. We need to minimize and streamline all the payment processes. And basically, what we want to achieve this year is to convert the whole billing and payment process for schools to be as easy as a Netflix payment. So we want parents and students to be auto-charged. They can put the credit card, or they can put the account, and we can withdraw money based on the agreements and the services we have to charge every month based on the agreement we have done with the payer. So it should be as simple as this. I have to admit that Classter is not yet there, but this is our vision, and we're going to be there very, very soon. So bear with us, invest on Classter, and make sure that within the next couple of years, you make sure that your whole operation is going to be completely automated. So let's see the main functionalities of where that the billing module provide today. Okay, the first thing is that we can create pricing plans, we can create pricing list, we can charge for different entities. In reality, in Classter, we can charge for you that you already know Classter. We can charge based on the entity that we call year or grade or program, and the entity we call it stream or group or specialization. On the entity called class or group, and the entity called subject and or unit or module, and the entity called in Classter extracurriculum activities or services or activities. So all these different things, they can be enrolled on student level, and then we can charge them. So you don't charge just a simple number, but you charge based on the services the student consume or has in our educational institution. Another thing that we have done, a lot of work is related to discounts and reductions and how we can manage discounts in a clever way and allow to the management of discounts and the controls. By doing so, we can create one or more financial arrangements. So a set of installments per student. So the next thing is the creation of financial arrangements. But of course, we have the tool to create this in bulk. So you can create bulk creation of financial arrangements, and I will show you some scenarios today. We can manage financial contracts. There is also a case we can go and lock the financial contract and then forgo the financial contract if we want to do changes and send the contract to the student. We have the mass billing. The mass billing is basically something like your telecom does. Every month you can run, or every 3 months or every year, it's up to you. You can run a billing process where the system will automatically calculate the invoice that must be generated for each student based on the agreements we've done. That is a recurring operation. So you have the tools to do this on a monthly basis. You can run the billing cycle, and then you can produce all the invoices and distribute those invoices to the payers. We do have a lot of tools to manage due payments, delayed payments, and send notifications to payers that haven't paid on time. We do have a capability of managing things related to the online payments and payment barcodes. Now, I have a message here that somebody cannot hear me. I hope that the rest of you can hear me well. I don't know if your problem is related to your computer, but if somebody else has a problem, please post a note on the messaging. Now, we do have also a tool to manage payers. So we have one or multiple payers per student, and also we can have a payer who can pay for multiple students. Payers can also be companies. So we have the payers management, the payers card. We manage extracurriculum services and other services, as I said at the beginning, and we can charge and do this in bulk. We have the capability of managing payment per usage. So every time you use something, you are charged for that. So for example, you eat in canteen, you are charged for the canteen. You use the bus, you charge for the bus. You use the library, you charge for the library usage. So you can charge per usage. Now, one scenario here that we are going to cover in the future much more in detail is management of private lessons. So cases that you charge per usage to the student. We do have already some support of that, but we are going to extend it more. We do have also the auto creation of arrangements, so we can financially create arrangements, as I said, using parents can create the arrangements based on rules. We have the capability of advance payment. So the example is that somebody comes and pays $10,000 or 10,000 euros for the next 5 years. Okay, how do we handle this case? How do we take the money and then we start using this money against services we provide in a later time? And of course, the integration with external accounting systems, because as you probably know, Classter is not an accounting system. We don't provide accounting, we do billing. The accounting is something that's very localized, and we expect that you use a local solution or a global solution. But we do export data to authorities, like to a Ministry of Finance. So you can do different set of exports, and you can also do different set of accounting. We are doing also some extra work on that area, so you can easily configure rules of how to export the data to accounting systems. And basically what this means is that you can run a process that you create credit and debit transactions, and you create basically a general ledger within Classter, and then you export the general ledger. We are not going to support general ledger fully, but we are going to support somehow the creation of general ledger transactions ready-made in Classter, and then you can export it. For you that you may know Classter for some time now, you probably know that some of those functionality exist in our old product called Classter Manager that has been withdrawn from the market, and now we send all this functionality to the new Classter SIS software as a service. I mean the cloud solution. So what we are going to see on the demo. We can create an arrangement. We can set price lists and prices. We're going to check overdues and send notifications. We will go and send a contract to a payer. We will see how a parent or a student can pay. We can charge for a trip or another service, doesn't matter. In my example, it's a trip, but can be whatever else, and bulk issue invoices for that trip. And then we expect the customers to go and pay. We will see the student payment online screen and how we can configure that, and we will produce barcode payments. Those can be sent to the banks, so they can basically generate payments to the bank. We can be SEPA transactions, can be just RF codes or other codes for payments. We support different set of barcode generation here. We will touch this area if we have enough time. We're not going to spend much time on detailed configuration of all this, but I will definitely present some configuration for all things that we present today. So I will go through how it is used by the end users, by the back office admins, by the people who do the accounting or the billing, and then what parents can see. But definitely most of the time will be around those, but we will definitely do also some configuration scenarios. The demo that I will present today is related to K-12 because it's a bit more complex than higher education in reality, but the differences are very small. You will not see something that does not apply to your installation if you have a higher education installation. The main difference is that who sees the financial data is the student or any other payer, and the payer can be a company or can be a parent or a guardian. So this is the main difference you see in reality. So let me switch now to a real demo and close here, sorry for that. So I will go to the initial screen of Classter. I've already logged on to my demo environment. Most of you probably you are familiar with Classter, but if you are not, this is the dashboard. This is the first screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for a student. As you probably know, I've created a student to do the demonstration. You can set the student from here, so you find the student, Or of course, you can at any point, wherever you are, you can start a student from here. So you can select the preview. It's nice. This is a nice feature. I want to show this for you that you don't know. You search a student, and you have the information about the student, about the parents, and about the enrollments of the student, and so on. Now the student is completely new, not much on the student. And then you can open the profile data. If you go edit, directly opens the profile data. The good thing is that like that, we can see all the contact information. So if I search for a student with a lot of contact information, you will see that you have all the information you want to see for that student. That's a very nice feature. I love presenting this because we have seen that people love it and use it very much. So let's go here and open this student directly. So this is a new student. It is a student who is in a middle school, year 6. Now, if it's middle school or elementary school, it's something you configure in Classter. You probably know that. And in our example, what we do is we charge the year, and we do have also an enrollment here done, just a service, which is a books club that the student follows. And also we charge this book club. So we have two simple charges here. Once I show you how we manage those two charges, we will discuss how we can configure to charge other things. So if we go to the financial tab, the student hasn't got any financial arrangement for the time being, and the first thing that Classter does is it will calculate what must be charged. Okay, so what you see here is two suggestions basically. So Classter, what it says that, okay, based on the configuration I have, I know that you need to charge year 6 and books club. And each one has its own price list, and a price is suggested here. Now, you see here that there is a managed or checkbox here, which basically means, have you done actually the management of that? Okay, have you done anything related to the books club in the year? In my case, because it's completely new student, the answer is no, I haven't done it. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is to agree on the financial agreement. The set of installment, in this case, we see that the payer is the father. So in this case, the father has to pay. Now, keep in mind that this creation of financial agreement, if you use the admission module, can come automatically. So basically, you avoid this step now if you use the admission module and you allow parents to auto-create. Of course, you can create also these arrangements in bulk. So you don't need to go one by one each student and do it, because it takes time. If you have predefined set of agreements and you follow these predefined rules, then you can create everything in bulk. Of course, keep in mind that many institutions, they do have very specific agreements per student, so they need to go per student and do give special discounts, give loans, reductions, things like that per student level. The automated creation has very specific rules, so it is not doesn't allow you basically to configure everything if they don't follow standard rules. Okay, so let's go and manage this. And you see that it has a suggested price. This is the annual price. Classter always work with annual prices. That is something that may confuse some of you, that especially if you are from a smaller institution and you want to charge per month, that may be a source of confusion and complication. You need to understand that we always discuss about annual price. And when we say annual price, we are talking about the academic year. Now, a question arises very often is, what happens if I don't have academic years? I'm a training center. I have people who join at any time. They stay for 3 months and they leave. Okay. Now, the answer is, this is the price for the program they select. Okay. If you charge the program, is the price for the program they select. If you charge the subjects or the unit, it's for the unit selected. Or if you charge for services, for the services selected. For the period of time that you have the student registered. So now, if you split this amount into monthly payments, you end up to have a set of monthly payments. In this particular example, we have 12 months. Okay, now you can change the arrangement plan here. You can say, okay, I want 3 months. You press recalculate, and the system will bring you the 3 months arrangement plan. A common question I always face is, okay, what happens if I want a very specific plan, which is not one of my default plans? It's not 3 months, it's not 4 months, it is 5 months or whatever. Now, The answer is you can go and add any month here. So you can go and create specific months. So you can, for example, add March. Okay, and maybe then you can add also January 21. So now I have created, sorry, January exists already. Let's put February. Okay, now we have created 5 months plan. And you see here, it's changed to custom plan. This is a custom plan now. It is only for that student. It is not replicated to the next student. The next student will use any of the default arrangement plans. We will discuss soon which plan here is selected and why. Now, if you want to add a prepayment, you can add insert the prepayment, and you say how much the prepayment is going to be. Let's say 200 or 1,000. Okay, so that is now a calculation. Now, the system here says that there's a difference. Why is the difference? Because I added 1 more 1,000 in the set of installments. Now, I can remove the 1,000 from September if I wish, or I can split this 1,000 in a more automatic way in all months equally. So if I press recalculate it, it will split in all months. So all months go equally now, equal amount of payment per month. So you have the initial payment, 1,000, and then the rest of the amount is split into the number of months I have in my installment plan. So you can create easily a set of installments that are specific to a student, to an agreement you have done with a specific student. Now, many of you don't have this kind of need. You can always use the default plans. Okay. Now, the next thing is how you manage discounts. In Classter, you can have multiple discounts per arrangement or per service charge. So this is a discount only for the tuition fee that includes year 6. It's not a discount for Books Club. So I can add multiple discounts here, and discounts can be also related to amount and percentage. Now, discounts can bring the amount of the percentage automatically, or you have to add it. So let's say that I added 100 euro. Now, so I have this discount now. Of course, you can move the discount up and down, and you probably notice that the price has changed. The discount price has changed here. The actually, what you see is the difference in discount. Now, why this happens is because the order of calculating discount is different thing if you firstly remove 10% and then 100 euro, or firstly 100 euro, then 10%. So the system will allow you to do so. You set the rules in the configuration of how these things should work automatically, but then you can add things there. Now, you can have also a set of other discounts that may have rules. Now, this says May, but actually should be defined until the 22nd of February. This is the deadline of the discount. So discounts can have rules that you define in the discounts list, and when you apply to add a discount, the system may allow you or may not allow you to add a discount. So, okay, you cannot add a discount because this is for 3 siblings. If you are the third child, you are not obviously the third child, because if I go to my student profile, you will see that I have no brother or sister or no sibling. So this kind of rules, they are all defined in the system. Now, by the time I add all these discounts, but this is a warning. I forgot to say that when you define the rules for discounts, you can go and define if those rules are mandatory to be followed or they are just warnings. Okay, in this case, it was a warning. So if I do a recalculate, the system will take care of the discounts and will split the amount, reducing the amount apart from the prepayment, which I have selected to be fixed. Now, you can set up the date of payment, each date. This comes from your automatically at the beginning of the month, but you can set any of those. Of course, when you set default plans, you can set it at any day of the month. So we have customers, for example, here they have 12 months, middle of the month, 12 months, end of the month, 12 months, beginning of the month. So everything they are set up automatically, and you can select which one you prefer. You can see here what is the due date, what is the amount paid, the invoiced amount, everything zero for the time being. So we are going to now to arrange 16,000 euros for this client. If I press save, then the discount is been saved. The arrangement has been saved, and it's been also finalized. Now that is another thing that we can do with other financial agreements. Basically, we can have a process where we finalize and lock the financial agreement. That means that it takes a number, which is a contract number, which can be presented then in our contract. So if I go here and I print my financial contract, that will be I think it's a financial agreement, if I'm not mistaken now. I can do preview, and I will get a financial agreement in place with a specific number. That is a unique number that is given in the financial agreement. Now, keep in mind that this is a very generic financial agreement. It's a sample. We always suggest our customers that they purchase Classter or they subscribe to Classter, that they need to have a budget to customize those private agreements. If you have a single DB, you purchase a single DB option, then you can do it yourself. If you are not in a single DB, which is much cheaper, the only way to customize this kind of agreements is by ordering this as a purchase order from us and send us what agreement you want, and we can create the agreement for you. Okay, now let's go now to do the Books Club. So I tried to add the Books Club. You may see here you have a set of discounts again, different discounts for that one. The default is 4 months. I save the arrangement. I'm done now. I have 2 agreements for the student. We have said that the payer is father. We can write comments if we want, which is financial related comments. And here we can say who is going to view the financial data. It's going to be the parents of the student, the contact for financial issue. What is the contact for financial issue? In our case, it's the father. Okay, or it can be a company. Okay, so we can select a company, and the company can be a payer, for example. So we can define who we want to be the payer, who can be the contact for financial issue, and usually we suggest that the contact for financial issues is the one who can see the data, the payment information, the financial agreements, and download all the transaction printouts and so on. Here you can see all the changes you do. So if I go to do a change here, the system says that everything's locked and I need to forgo. So unlist basically the contract. If I forgo and then I save again, the system will get a new finalized agreement here, a new number. Okay, this is how it works, and like that we can keep track of all the changes and have official contact numbers for all changes done on the financial agreement. So I have saved the data. Actually, I don't remember if I have saved it. Let me save it. Now, that will save all the data for the student. Give me a second, please. And here is the financial overview. So you see here, I have all the installments created. Now, the question is why the installments are in red. The answer is that the payment dates have gone. They are all due. So I should have paid everything apart from this one. Why so? Because it is 2021 and all financial agreements have been created with dates for 2021. Okay. So the prepayment, you probably noticed that came today. That is a configuration. Okay. So if we want to do it correctly, the prepayment date, now we do an installment in the middle of the year, an arrangement. Usually when you do it at the beginning of the year, it is a day you do the agreement. Okay. So always a prepayment is presented firstly. So maybe we can go here and change the prepayment. So basically what we do is we will come here, we do manage and set the prepayment date to be, let's say, let's put it 1st or end of August. Okay. So, and, but we need to forgo because otherwise I cannot save. Forgot that, sorry, to open the agreement. So let's make it August, whatever here, save arrangement. Okay, so let's go back now to the total view. Now, keep in mind that the prepayment date can be configured to be automatically X days from today, for the day of creation, okay? Or it can be influenced by discounts that's coming in the new version, okay? So a discount influences the prepayment date. So if you have a prepayment discount, because I prepay everything, that will influence also the prepayment date. That's something completely new that is coming into us in the next release. So here I have the two things that I can see. I can see them per arrangement. I can see them per installment. So I can see what I have to pay for each month. So generally I have to pay two things, February the same. And I can see also per periods. Now, for this particular student, that makes not much sense because you have no last period. It's completely new student. But if you have a student that is multiple years in your institution, you may be able to go here and see what has happened last year or what money the student owes from the last year. Here you see on the top the total agreement amount, the total payment, the balance, and the outstanding. That is delayed payment. If the student also owns money from last year, you will see here on the top right the money he owns from last year or the year before. So on the bottom, you see all the invoices and payment receipts. There is no payment or invoice receipt right now. But let's go to issue a couple of invoices and see what happens. If you go to the accounting tab, it's basically the credit and debit here. So it's a simple accounting tab for per student level. You will see there is no data because there is no transaction. That is an agreement. That is a forecast. It's not really any transaction done. The accounting department is not really informed by any transaction. We have no revenue for the student. We have no payments. Nothing has happened yet. We just have an agreement. That agreement can also happen and created for students who are not registered yet. In these cases, they work with it as financial offers. Okay, so we also support this capability of creating financial offers and sending those. That is part of the admission module that we can send financial offers and the students can accept it and can see the offers and then convert it to registered students and go one step ahead. So this is what I said at the very beginning. The two modules work very well together. So let's go now to issue a transaction. Now you will see a set of transactions here. We have a bunch of 3 transactions here and another very similar 3 here. Let me explain the differences of all this and what is the difference then among the first 3 and the last 3. So the payment receipt is that basically we receive money, nothing more. We haven't invoiced, we haven't created a revenue, we just receive money. Now there are schools and colleges and universities, they manage the billing process with different ways. So some schools, they invoice everything at the beginning and then they expect to get paid. Other people, other organizations, they just receive money at the end, they invoice the total amount of services delivered. Other organizations, they invoice every time they receive money. Other organizations, they invoice every month and then they expect to get paid and so on. So there are a set of different methodologies of how to manage all these processes. And Classter cover all these different cases. So the first case is that we just when we receive money, we just register a payment receipt, and then we will invoice. The second case is that when we receive money, we also invoice at the same time. So we receive the money, and that is an invoice. We send you back that okay, we got the money, and this is your invoice. So it is the most common case. Okay, and this is an invoice of credit. It's a case where either we invoice at the beginning, and then we expect money, we receive them with payment receipts, or we will invoice at the end when all services are delivered. So, but we still receive money meanwhile. So basically at the end, the balance will zero, but at the end. So let's take and receive some money here only. So this is a form where we go and define what we have to pay. Okay. It is for academic period. If you want to pay an older period, we change the period and we go and pay for an older period for the same student. So let's say that the student is from previous year and he owns money. So we receive money in the bank or they come to the pay us with a credit card or whatever. We can go back, change the school period here, the academic period, go 1 year back and get paid for the last year. Okay, that may happen a lot during the beginning of each year because people may owe you money from last year. Depending on the cases, of course. Now, here we have the receipt information. We can say the cash we are going to receive, who is responsible to receive the money, who is the payer. Let me ask you here. Let me inform you here about one feature that many of you may not know or is kind of new. We had a lot of people saying, okay, I want to have different payers. A student's tuition fees are not paid just by one, from different parties. We can support, first of all, the selection of payer on on the payment process. So when we see the money, where we see the money from, but also right now we can also define each installment who pays each installment. For per installment, then we can define a payer, and that will lock the system. So if we define, for example, that the prepayment of year 6 is paid by the father, where the year 6 September is paid by mother, you can set up this in configuration, and then you lock the whole process, and you don't allow the payment to be done by another entity. Okay, that is if you want to be more strict about who pays what. It is usually used when a piece is paid by a company and the rest is paid by parents or by the student. Very, very often in higher education. So they have some sponsorship. Somebody pays, a company pays for a student doing an MBA, for example, and then a part is paid by the student. That split is predefined at the beginning of the registration and is not changing. So in this case, you need to enable payers per installment, which we will show when we go to configuration. This is the explanation of how we create. When we create a transaction, we have a description of the transaction. The description here can be automatically created. So in this case, if it's automatic, we'll say payment of, if we pay, for example, year 6 prepayment, it will say year 6 prepayment. That's an automatic description. You can set free text, so you can write whatever you want here. So that text will be presented in the invoice then, on the payment receipt in this case. You can use existing options. So you have a set of options that you can use. Well, you can use prepayment. That's it. Okay. Or that can come from the plan. So if you remember, you had a plan. If you had default plans and you use automatic from the plan, then the payment description comes from the plan, which is a very specific feature. I don't think that you will use it that much. Here is if the numbering is automated or manual numbering. If it's manual numbering, then I can change the number and put whatever number I want. If it's automated, the system will use a specific transaction type with automated numbering. Okay. And then I can write any remark for this payment, and then I can save and print, or just save, or save an email. So if I save and print, then I will get the printout here. Okay. If I do the same thing, let's make one more, payment receipt, you probably notice now that the system provides you automatically a suggestion for the next installment. This feature can be disabled if you don't like it. If I press this one, the system will basically calculate how much money I need to pay back all my balance. This is the balance from the last year, and here I can define what arrangements I'm going to pay. So I can define that I don't want to pay books, I'm going to pay only year 6 and so on. Now, keep in mind what we discussed now is payments registered to Classter by back office employees. So either they see the payment in the bank, or somebody comes to a cashier desk and they pay with a credit card or a check, and all this information is given to the system here. If I press this payment save an email, then the email will go to my email account. We will open the email account. So the payment is registered and the email is sent with the attached payment there. Of course, any payment registered, I can go and see it here and open it at any time again and see the payment from here and download it, or do whatever I want. I have the option to print it out and so on, of course. Okay. Or I can export it in a Word, a PDF, or whatever I want. So now let's go to explain the second round, which is unconnected. Now, the unconnected means that are payments not connected to a financial agreement. So if I want to receive money, let's say I received 20,000. Now, my financial agreement in this case is 16,000. So what about the rest of 4,000? Those are prepayments. I may also receive prepayments before I do the financial agreements for some reason. Now, the unconnected payments are prepayments that I receive, and then later I use them against services I deliver. So I can say, for example, a payment receipt, and I can say that I want to receive, let's say, 2,000 euro. Okay. This is not against any installment, so I will save this 2,000 euro, and then those 2,000 euro are in my pool of money. I can see all this in the accounting tab. So I see that I have credited 2,000, and those 2,000 are not yet used. And here you see that I received only credits, only payments. I haven't done any debit, so I haven't really charged the customer with any invoice yet. Okay, here you can see the invoices per transaction installment or per transaction. So you can see that basically the transactions executed. From here, you can revert the transaction, for example, if allowed. Okay, and you can also change the payer. You can hide the transaction from the payer. You can cancel the transaction if you are allowed, and so on. So here you can do all these jobs. Now let's go to see how I have this 2,000 euros, and I want to use against the books club. So I can go here and say I can select 1 or 2 installments and say I want to pay the selected installments with the 2,000 euro amount I have in my pool. So I select this one, and like that, I pay the money using, I pay these 2 installments using the money I have received unconnected from any installment. So the unconnected in payment basically is something that you receive, and then later you match against services you have delivered. All these then are presented, of course, here in my financial agreement, where I can do things deleted, cancel, refund, and so on. This is a general overview of the financial agreement and the information that you have related with creating the financial agreement and how to manage the payments with a student. A couple of things that are important to note. You can hide a whole financial agreement from the website, so payers cannot see it, because you may want to review it and finalize it and so on. You also have the capability for any financial agreement to categorize. You have the ability to specify the preferred method type. The important thing here is to understand this one. What is the billing plan? Now, in Classter, we keep 2 different plans. Is the payment plan, which is the arrangement plan, so the agreement of how people are going to pay us, and then the billing plan. This is the agreement or the decision we have done internally of how we are going to bill the customer. So when we are going to issue invoices, the billing plan is used only in bulk in billing, mass billing operation. So if we go to mass billing operation, we will present this in a second. That mass billing operation, it uses this billing plan. So in this case, it's identical with arrangement. That means that it will use the same exactly set of installments. You can go and disable billing in case you don't want to bill something, just receive money. You can go and specify any other billing plan, like end of the school period 100%, or 100% at the beginning. So we bill everything at the beginning. So you can go and define how you want to bill a specific student. So now let's go to see a few things related to how we configure this, and then we go to see more things related. Now, the one thing that you probably have noticed here is that we can use price plans. The price plans are defined here, so we can create price plans. The price plans define, based on the price plan the student got, the initial price of an entity charged. Okay, can be defined on educational program level, can be defined on subject level, on activity level, and so on. The price plans are must be enabled in order for you to use it. So you can go to the general settings here. Let me open it in the new tab, and then they are defined in per entity billed or charged. So the using of price categories or pricing plans is here, and then you enable it for specific items you want to charge. So in this case, it's for year, services, and subjects. So if I go here, for example, and go to year 6, and go to billing plans. First of all, here we enable the billing for year 6. If we have another educational program that is for free, we don't enable the billing. Here is the default arrangement plan, and here is the pricing categories, the price per pricing category. If I create more pricing categories, can be added here. How do I create more pricing categories? Easily, I go to the financial here, drop down list, and I can go to pricing categories and add a new pricing category for year. or take one that like this one and add it and say it is enabled only for year. That will enable a new pricing category in year 6 and so on. So if I do here and do refresh, I don't know, maybe I have to log out, log on for that, but I will not do it if so. It's come here and I can go and enable it or not enable it and add the price and default arrangement plan. It is used sometimes to define also the arrangement plan and the initial price. If you don't want to change the final price using a discount, but you want to change the initial price, that is a way to do it. So this is one way to build things. Of course, the same way you can build, for example, subjects or services. All this can be built using the configuration. So any entity will be able to be used to do this billing. So any subject may be enabled for billing. And for the subject, we can bill per academic period. So you have a final price, or the price can be per credit or per hour. This is configurable, so we can change it to per hour. In this case, the actual price is calculated either by per hour here, whatever you define, or per credit, defined here. It will multiply the credit by the price you give here. So the different prices will influence, but keep in mind that this information is inherited in student level and can be changed there if you are allowed. Okay. And again, you can specify what billing categories you want to enable and use the billing categories and add prices per billing category and so on. So that is few things related to configuration. I don't spend more time because we don't have enough time for that, but this is another thing that is interesting. Let's go to a next thing now. Let's go to the list of arrangements. So, and search my my student I just created and find the arrangement. This is all the financial agreements I have created for all students. I can see that the agreed amount to be paid is 4 million in this example. The total discount value is 4 million. I have a lot of filters here. I can filter based on a number of things, of the year, of the status, of the category of the student, of payer, and so on. The year and location are filters here. But I want to search only for this friend of mine. So this guy, I can come here and send private agreement. That can send one private agreement to two private agreements. If I press this, it will merge it. If I don't press it, it will send a financial agreement to the email. So let me open my email account. So we'll start seeing some emails received by the system because we have received actually quite a lot of emails already, like the invoices before. I will show you in a second. So I can also do a number of things here. I can tag it. So I can say, for example, it's a number of, it's a problem with this client. I can send notification messages, so we can create ready-made templates and send this to the payers or to the guardians or to the financial contact. And then I have different templates I can send. I will come back to this with more information. I can unpublish from the internet. I can create financial remarks. So let's say, give him a call. Okay, so I can have a financial remark here. Of course, in this case, I'm admin. I can see all the financial remarks. Usually, you can see only whatever you are interested for. So you should contact the financial responsible person, and you can write what this should be done, and then you can assign to a specific employee. So this employee has to call this financial responsible for this student and discuss a matter, a problem that he hasn't paid, for example, or what happened because he has a complaint. This is CRM action. So this is how we combine the CRM with the billing system. So another thing we can do is we can create payment barcodes. If we create payment barcodes, now we have created a payment barcode for this student. So let me refresh here. Payment barcodes can be auto-created or can be manually created, of course. You will see here that a payment barcode has been created. Here is the number of the payment barcode, which I can also go and print it, I believe. So see the payment barcode. This, of course, can be go and inherit in your invoice. You can do special printouts. Now, the payment barcode in this case is per student, but of course you can have payment barcode per installment, per agreement, or per invoice. How do we enable payment barcodes? The payment barcodes, in order to be enabled, you need to go to the general settings. And then you go to the advanced configuration. And here you can say on what level you want to enable payment barcodes on a student, arrangement, installment, or transaction. And based on that, we can also define here the format of the barcode. This is a format for the Greek banks, but you can have different formats. And the type of the barcode type. So depending on how you want this to be used, you can have different code formats for the barcode type, how you print out the barcode. That creates a payment barcode. You can give it to the students when they pay. You receive the payment transactions from the bank in a file that you can then import it. So let's present how we import this payment barcode. So let's say that we have the student with this payment barcode, and I created a dummy payment file here with this one. Let's replace, and let's say that I will receive 99 euros. Okay, I don't have to put a student ID or anything else. I will save it, and then I will go now to another view here, which is called transactions. Here is all the transactions done in the system for a period of time. So by selecting a period of time, you can see all the transactions done in the system. This is the main, all the transactions registered. Of course, you can export all these transactions. You can go and do filters and say, give me all the transactions that are normal or credit or cancel or based on the payment method or whatever transaction is related to specific services or to tuition, to years, to tuition fees, and so on, or to a specific year only, and so on. Or you can see transactions for multiple school periods done within this period of time. Okay, always. So here are the transactions. You have here a set of things. You can preview the transactions. You can send by email. Here is also a way to bulk sending by email all the invoices to students. You can create this and create a set invoice. We will show this in a second. Now, what we are going to do here is online payments. We have the ability here to go and see payments done online. We will come to that in a second. But in reality, there are not only payments done by the portal, by parents. So I can go and see all the payments done online. So let's take all payments, even if those are addressed. So that's payments done online for somebody who went and added the credit card and they paid online. Those can be automatically transacted, automatically addressed. So they are converted to payment receipt, or can be manually firstly saved here, and then I can manually go and do the addressing of that. Now, the same exactly methodology can be used for payments done by RF codes or barcodes, or if I want to enter the data from an Excel, I can go and import the data, all payments from an Excel. So here I have I can select the Excel here. So I can select Excel, and here are the fields. So let's take it from the second line, and this is the default fields. Verify the data. Okay, I see that I will import this one. The system finds automatically the student from a payment barcode, import the payment, and close. So if I do so, now the 99 payment is here. I can go directly and convert this to a payment receipt. Now, of course, this is if I want to go here and do changes, controls, things like that. If I want also, I can go and do auto address. So it will automatically, I can select all of those and press auto address. It will automatically do the automatically addressing of all these payments, converted to transactions and payments into the system. So all payments can stay in the interim phase. The verified means that they have been verified. When, if you notice, when I did an import, I could go and say if they are verified or not, if I want to check them again. If they are verified, then you can automatically change them to payments. The verified transactions also means in whatever comes online, means that the payment has been concluded. The payment gateway have said to us that the payment is done. Since we're talking about now online payments, let's go to log on as a parent, see the online payments, how this works, and then we are approaching the nice stuff of Classter to see how things can be done automatically and see what money they owe us, and so on. So let's log on, find the student, and find the parent, and try to log on with the parent. So the parent data, if I edit the parent, you will see here that this is the username of the parent. So let me open a new incognito here. I use the containers here, or session box allows you to have multiple, let me change to English, multiple incognito within the same window. And the initial password for this guy, it is presented here. If otherwise I need to go to the account to find it. So this is a new student, a new parent logging in first time, actually, for a registered student. Know that if the parent is not registered, then the parent will go to the admission. If the student is not registered, the parent goes to the admission portal. Of course, the payment overview is also visible in the financial card is visible in the admission portal also. So let's go to financial. And here I see all the installments. Whatever has been issued is not here. Why it's not here? That's a very good example. So the invoice is not there. The reason the invoice is not there is probably it's by default not visible to the parents. That is a configuration. So I need to go and make the payments visible to the parents. So I can go and select the payments and make show to end customer. Let's make also this one, show to end customers. You can do this in bulk from the transaction. So now let me log on, log out again. So now they're visible. The same thing, I can go and hide installments or the whole agreement. Okay. So, and of course I can go and download from here. So I don't have really to distribute the PDFs or the invoices. We can always download from here. If I go to all on payment, you see here the simplest way. The simplest way is that the system says what money I own that you paid and suggests those to me. Let me change a bit the configuration here. So I go to e-payments, and e-payments, I say I want free value and specific installments also. Okay. Now, let me log on again as a parent. By changing the school period, it's refresh everything. So now if I go to online payments, I have two options. Either I select what installment I want to pay, or you go to the free option, I pay the remaining amount. So it's up to the user, up to you to define which of the two tabs should be available and how those should be presented. Also, we can present this not the way it is, but per day, in order to do a per payment date and basically merge all payments. I think this is done on this with this option here, merge installments by payment date. If I do so, all installments are merged per payment date. If I press here, I can write, this is like a signature more or less, so we can say where you want to an email for the payment gateway and proceed to payment, and then you can go and do a payment. Now, this payment now has been registered, so we know he wanted to pay, but it's not verified because he never paid. So if I go to the financial agreements and go to transaction and go to the online payments, I will see as non-verified, or let's put all, this one is not verified. So he went there, but he was not verified. Okay, now this is related to online payments. Now let's go to an example where we want to enroll 3-4 students into a trip that we are going to do at the museum, and we want to charge them 50 euros, and we want them to send the invoices to everybody and go and proceed with that. So the first thing is that we need to enroll the service. So who is going to do it? Of course, keep in mind that parents can do self-enrollment. So you can enable parents to go to self-enroll to the service, a trip to museum, okay, which is what we suggest. We suggest that you ask the parents, please, or the student, please let us know if you participate in this event, and then which is chargeable. Now, the other way is that we do it manually. You get the papers, who is going to be there, very common in schools. So let's select students from year 6, because this is my student I use, year 6. And I have a number of students here. I don't see my student. Is it not year 6, or am I confused? Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's take this, students. And go and add Enroll Services. Wait, give me a second, please. Let's do something else. Yeah. So it seems to be that it's not in a primary. Now the question is a matter of data in the demo. So I want to use the CARA. So let me find the CARA here. So those are 4 students I want to enroll. So I can select all of those here, actions, enroll to services. So I want to enroll to an outing, a trip to museum, add, save. So now if I open the student, I will see that the student is enrolled to a new service, which is the outing. Okay, and the same with all other students. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a financial agreement automatically. So I will come here, arrangements, and you can use this for many, many areas, not only the example I present. Mass creation. Okay, now I will select students who have the services outing. Search all of those. Some of those, they already have an arrangement. We don't care. The arrangement is for the service outing. The amount is standard. It's 50 euros. Okay. We don't want anything else. It's going to be down paid, invoiced immediately. Okay. And create. That now will create invoices, the arrangement for the A students. Some of those, they already have it. Okay. Some of those they have it. Some of those are created now. So the system recognizes all this, auto creates only wherever it should be. So if I open again the student, I will find, let me do it. I will open again the student. We will see that there is a new financial agreement created in bulk. So you see here, it is prepayment. Now let's see that something has happened now, and the call us from the organizer of this trip and says, oh guys, we are wrong. We are going to add something extra. You are going to use bus, blah, blah. So the cost now went up. It's 70 euros. How do massively change the cost? So mass edit arrangements. You can use this for removing, for example, for coronavirus. If you have a month that you want to charge, you can remove the month. Or you can change the cost. So for the service outing, let's remove this one. Okay, search, select all the students that they have this service, and select which service I want to change. I want to change this one and change the price. I want to add, replace the value to 70. Everybody will get 70. So I massively change the price for all the students. So that is a very helpful thing to do when you do changes and prices. The coronavirus example was a very good hint for using this function. One thing that you have to keep in mind, this means that if, for example, I have been invoiced, I've already get paid 100, and then the price goes down to 50. What happens with the 50 euro? It will stay as unconnected receipt in the pool, so I can use it against any other service. So it will take it out on the fly and put it there. So on the pool, I mean. So we have done this. So now what we're going to do is going to invoice the parents, because if I go as a parent here, Let's see. I see this one. I see I need to pay. Okay. The thing is that let's see that I want also to invoice all these guys, so they pay, and we have already invoiced. So what we can go mass billing here, and the mass billing runs here. So here's the transaction we are going to run, and we can filter results based on the arrangement. So we want the outings only. So now it will filter only the outings. Probably, yeah. Now the question is when we have added the billing plan. So this is something I didn't pay attention before when I did the demo. Anyway, the thing is that here is all the automatic invoices. So whatever we need to invoice, okay. By issue transaction, we will issue all the invoices here. Let me see what is the date that this invoice has been planned to be invoiced. If I go here to add here the system says that the price has changed. It's not according to the price list. No, I don't want to change that. So it is 100% at the beginning, but the question is when is the beginning? So I need to go to the stand here, the billing plan. So we have the billing plans here and the arrangement plans, and that is the 100% at the beginning. So it was July 2019. Okay, so it's kind of wrong here, but anyway. So we need to change that. Let me not spend time on this. The thing is that here you can bulk create invoices. So if you issue a transaction, all of the invoices that are here, this 21,000 euro, will be now invoiced. That will take some time, and we'll create a set of invoices. Until this is done, let me go here and show you the transactions. And meanwhile, let me open my account here. Give me a second, guys. By the way, this is my mailbox. So you will see this is the initial receipt we received. Okay, so you can see it from here, the receipt. This is a notification. This is a final agreement sent to us. And this is the second financial agreement because we sent two. But let's now go to these transactions here, take all the transactions. If I want to send all these invoices automatically, let's just take the Cara. So this is all the invoice done. Now we have added also some invoices here. Okay, so you see those are invoices on credit created by the mass billing operation, which has finished. So I want to send this to the student, to the parent. I can go set and send all these invoices. Okay, provided that the invoice, the layouts are correctly all set, the system will send the invoices. So what is going to happen now is I'm going to receive here all the invoices. Let's give it a second. It's a service running on the back. It takes some time before this happens. That is another way. Now, another thing that also we can do here is go to financial overview and see what money they owe us in total. So you see in total that we have a great amount of 4 millions. The paid amount is only 35,000. The business is not doing very well, I think. The balance is 4 million. So the balance, this is the balance, the total balance from all school periods, and this is outstanding balance from all school periods. Now I can see this per student. I can say, bring all the students who owns money. Okay, so this is the students who own money. Okay, hopefully Cara, my student, is going to own some money. So he owns some money. So I can select the student or all students, and I can send a financial notification. It's going to the selected user or to the financial contact, and can be delayed payment notification. That will open an email with a template that will automatically send the amount and put some recipient name and so on. That can also go as push notification to their mobile that they own money and send the message. Now we'll go as an email. Okay. So if I go here, I think I should have received it. Not yet. Let's see. So like that, I can also send notifications who owns money. I can easily find what money they owns. I can export, of course, this in Excel. I start doing a lot of analysis and see the data. Here I have also a lot of reports related to the financial management, how to manage all these things, how to go and see all the different reports. Keep in mind that the reports you see here, they are configurable. They are set on the role level. So if I go to the role and open my role as an admin, so I will open the admin role here. I can go and see in the reports what, let's go core, mark and assessment, attendance. You see transportation, timetable. Oh, somewhere I didn't see billing, sorry. Here are all the different reports and where I want to view them. So you want to move them somewhere else, you can move them somewhere else, okay? As long as it exists in this screen, in this drop down, I mean. So this is a way to manage and see all the different pay money they own. We are going to do more work here, provide more analytic tools and allow you to do analysis and things like that. So you see I can have comments. I can also create financial actions again here. In the new version also I can change the status of the student. So people who are delayed on payment, you can select here and then go change status, and that changes the status of the student. This is added in the new version. The same thing actually is also added in the transactions list. Another thing I want to now to show you is related to the case that we have one payer. We can be a company or it can be let's say a student or a parent who wants to pay for multiple students. So we have a company that pays for multiple students. How do we manage this operation? So in order to manage this operation, first of all, you will need to go to the financial reports, to multi-student billing and enable that. Okay, now if you go to the payers here and find a payer, I think I have a payer called Finance that has 2 children. Okay, and I can see what students this payer pays. I can see statistics about the payments done by the student, by this payer. And then here I can see, I can do payment receipt. So in this case, I will be able to pay for 2 students at the same time. So if I say 6,000 euro, the system will go and start paying different students. Now, the reason you can see here up and down, depending on the date, of course. So you can say I want to add here 4,000 for this student, or sorry, yes, both. The balance is 12,000. Yes, it's possible. And I can pay 112 here, so I can do whatever I want, and I pay with one go multiple students. Okay, this is something that you need to enable. Keep in mind that you have custom printouts for the invoices. You need to update those to work with them for the multi-student payment operation. They are not working by default. Okay, so the change must be happened there in your installation in order for this to work. Let's now do the final thing, which is a bit to go back to the configuration and discuss a few things related to discounts and the rules on the discounts that make sense for you. So I go to financial drop-downs list and discounts types. In the discount types, I can have some rules. Sorry, let's take this one. So the first rule is if this is on percentage or value. If it's not percentage, it's value. So the value 10 means 10%. 10%. If you remove that, it means 10 euros. Locked means that the back office employees cannot change this discount value or percentage. It comes and then it's not changeable. If it's not locked, then you can go and edit, as you have already seen in my example before. That means that if it's a discount or if it's not a discount, if it's not a discount, it's a loan basically. We can use categories here for loans. If you have loans, so banks paying for students, especially in higher education, then you may need that. Now, this is the different checks. The checks relate to these 3 fields here. and here we can have them forbidden, warning, or none. This is a category where we can categorize discounts in categories, and then we can put rules on a category level. Okay, here is if this discount is visible or usable for all type of services we charge. In this particular example, it's only to arrangements, financial agreements related to specific years. If I remove a year, then I cannot, and I have a student of that year, you cannot add this discount. If you want also to have it for services, here you can specify specific services that this discount can work. For all other services, it is not going to work. An empty, sorry, an empty field here means that it works for all services, all years. Here we can define the number of siblings. This means that if you want to add this one, you should have one sibling. So you and one more sibling, one more child. Under that you are connected as siblings. Okay, it doesn't matter if the siblings are of the same pay or not in reality. End date. The end date is for discounts that they valid up to a specific date. If you remember, when I added this discount May, it didn't allow me to add it because I had an end date. Okay. And the dates for prepayment is used to set automatically the prepayment date. That is coming in the new edition. It's not yet in production, but it's coming. And you can, of course, add new discount types here, and you create the discounts you wish. Okay. You can move the discounts up and down. The order allows you, when you add discounts, which order by default you get them. If you don't have, say that you want firstly the discount that is amount and then percentage, or percentage and amount, and then the internal order of the discounts is used to present the discounts with the correct order. That is related to the discounts, which I think it's important. They have also some on the category level. For example, you can say that you can have discounts belonging to one particular category, and there is a limit on this category. So you may have 4 discounts, but the category that belong to the same category, you can add all of those, but in total you cannot go more than 20%, for example. And also compatibility category means that if you have a discount, a compatibility here category, you add the second category, you say that if you add the discount from this category, you cannot add the discount from the other category. So those rules are used when back office employees add discounts. Then the next thing is related to if these discounts can be used by parents when they auto create financial agreements as part of the admission process. That also it is defined in a set of settings. All the discount settings are here. But let me tell you that we will change a bit the configuration of settings in the next version. So you will see a different structure. Here we can define different discounts. That is important. When I go to find if I have enough siblings, if I use here you define the status of students. So if a student have 2 siblings and one leaves the school, what about the other one? He's allowed to have a discount. Here you define the status of the student, and based on the status, it does a control if it should be in the if the discount should be can be used or not. Okay, so there are a lot of configuration related here. I'm not going through all this configuration. It takes quite a lot. The important here is only the payments here. Here we define the payment gateway we want to use. The payment gateway is provided here. We can go and set the payment gateways in advanced configuration. So we have a lot of payment gateways. So you can use all these payment gateways. The currency you want to charge in payment gateway, some text you present to the student. If you want the payment when you have free amount, or even not in the free, just by installment, if the system you want to pre-select, for example, all the overdue installments. If I save this, that means that if I go here for payments, the system will pre-select all due amounts. If I have any, I don't know. I think I have one. So if I go online payment, the pre-selected amounts is all the due amounts. Okay, you see all the due amounts are already pre-selected. So that is one thing that we suggest that you use it. Here it is for addressing installments and addressing advance payments, unconnected payments. If I come here and I pay 100,000 euro, what happens? Okay, of course I'm not stupid. I will receive it, the money. It's my pleasure. And then the question is how I keep this as a not connected advance payment discount. Those are used to address the installments, and also when you do the on the online payments, the bulk addressing of installments, committing more or less. We use these settings here, so it must be filled in. Another thing that we have done is related to the SEPA payments. You can go and enable a payment method that's called SEPA, and then you can go to when you bill, you can create a SEPA file that is sent to the bank, based on which you go and charge the customer and withdraw the money. This is for SEPA automatic payments, more or less. So that works from the transactions and or from mass billing, sorry. And then you can create SEPA transactions, and on the SEPA transactions you can go and export all the data and so on. So let me go back to the PowerPoint to finalize that. What's new is the automatic creation of financial agreements, which is part of, and auto registration of discount, which is part of the admission module, but works together with the billing. So for you that you haven't seen the previous presentation we did about the admission module, and you want that, please drop us an email. I will send you the presentation, and you'll be able to see how we auto create financial agreements. The auto set of prepayment date, which I didn't describe. I talk about it. I didn't describe how this works, but we will show you this in the next meeting. Auto set financial agreements. We have seen this. Integration with Flywire is a new integration with a new payment gateway. The match of installments per date. We have presented that. How you configure it. I didn't present how it looks like, but you can test it yourself if you prefer this way in the parents portal or the payers portal. What comes next? We definitely are going to work more on the export module. I forgot to tell you here, and that is important to say, that we already have done some export information. Right now we have done 2 export methodologies out of the box. One is for the Colombia Ministry of Finance, because we have a client there who has paid for that, and the other is for the Greek Ministry of Finance. Here we are going to add different export types, including QuickBooks, Navision, and a number of other ERPs that we are going to do exporting, and of course the capability of you to specify custom export methodologies. Private lessons for you that you already use Classter Manager are supported in Classter Manager. Charging of those into financial agreements. This is going to be ported to and refactored in Portal. Monthly fees for those that you don't have annual fees and you want just to charge every month a specific amount. We are going to implement a new solution for that. Auto creation of arrangement. That basically means when you save a new student, all services that must be charged will be automatically charged with default settings. So you don't need to go to the financial tab to create it, or you don't need to go to the bulk creation. The creation of a student means the creation of arrangement. Check management, and that is also part of the Classter Manager. It's going to be ported within the next few months. Managing of check receipts and future payments. We're using checks. Payment links. This is something a bit further. Basically, we will enable you to receive an email with a payment link. One click, you go to the payment gateway and pay. For that, we will use our BlueSnap integration. We are very, very close to the BlueSnap and work with them. As you probably remember, the BlueSnap payment gateway. It is here. It's the first one. This is the default payment gateway for Classter. We are going to work more with them. So you will be able to do directly payments using BlueSnap out of the box. Today, you need to go and enroll to the BlueSnap. That is going to be automated fully, and we are going also to use payment links. So we are going to send emails with online payments, and you directly pay every time you need to pay. Or even more importantly, we will have auto charge credit card. So you put in BlueSnap your credit card as a customer, and you as a school, you auto charge the correct amount per month every month. That is coming end of 2021, beginning of 2022, the latest. We want to improve the financial review to give more analytical tools and give more statistical information. This is a configuration step. I have covered most of that. I'm not going to cover those. Those are specific frequently asked questions. We are going to answer those and send it to you. And here's where you can find a lot of frequently asked questions already built, some YouTube videos about the billing module, and information about the billing manual and online payments manual that exists in our knowledge base. I have 4 minutes. If you don't, I'm expecting questions. If you have questions, please feel free to send me questions and your feedback about if that was useful or not. I think we will send you also a feedback questionnaire to answer. I will very much appreciate your feedback to know if what we do here is good, it's on the right direction, if this kind of sessions are useful for you, or if they make sense or not. So I'm waiting here for a while to see your comment, if there is any, or any question you may have. We have 3 more minutes. Yeah, Eurobank integration already exists. That's from a Greek customer. If you go here, or am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. No, we don't have Eurobank. I'm so sorry. Yes, please send this as a ticket, because I think you are an existing customer, and I will come back to you when we will have it. Yes. Also, for you that you want to evaluate the BlueSnap, we could give you specific financial offers for BlueSnap if you have a large transactions, of course. We're not talking about small entities, but if you have a large entity you want to evaluate the BlueSnap as an option for payment gateway, we can do so. Yeah, the question is, what happens if somebody does an online payment to a payment gateway that is not connected to Classter, so it's not related to Classter? So this is the similar thing, like exactly the same thing as somebody does a wire transfer money to a bank. No difference at all for us. Provided that you can export the data and you have given a payment codes or Q codes or something like that in the client, and the client has used this during the payment gateway, you can take an Excel from the payment gateway, which is this form. Can be a payment code or can be a student code. Okay, now if you go to the students, for example, if you go to any student here, you will see that you can edit your payment code. So theoretically, you could go and add the payment codes of each student of the payment gateway here. So if you get a payment like a customer ID or something from the payment gateway, you can add it here in the payment code. Okay, and like that, you can basically import files from external system using the online payments and import all the payments from external system. The only thing you need is basically the amount, the date, and either the SKU code, this one in this case, or the payment code. So either you give this to the external system or to the payer to write it somewhere. You get it in your Excel of where you export the data, or you enter here the unique ID of the payer on the external system, so you can import the data. You can of course do the same thing with the wire transfers. If you take the wire transfers export from your bank, from your in-banking, as long as you have an ID that can connect with Classter, which can be either this one or the ID set here, the import is going to work. Just for the second case, if you want to use this ID, just remember that you need to go and enable, even if you don't produce payment barcodes from Classter, you need to enable this one. Okay, otherwise it's not going to use it in the import. Okay, guys, I think the time is up. If you don't have I give it 1 more minute if somebody wants to answer something. Or, sorry, ask something. Okay, thank you very much for your time, guys, and we will keep doing this. We hopefully have more and more people joining that. We'll keep it in two sections, one time zone of Europe, one time zone of United States. So you can also do it morning or afternoon if you are from Europe. So that is very good to see all of you in being part of this meeting today. And I hope that that was a very useful time for you. Bye-bye.